So I'm going to try something a little bit different, because I have done a lot of album reviews over the past, technically 4 years. I started in 2017, but it really didn't become like a super main thing until 2018. And I've had a lot of controversial album reviews, not to the point where I think that I was wrong on anything. It's just maybe these albums were more liked than, what I assumed them to be, and they got a lot of hate for a lot of different reasons, and these were 10 that I could find now, and I kind of kept off some of the more obvious ones like Justin Bieber, AJR, BTS, any country music, because I felt like that's too obvious. And to clarify, I don't try to be controversial with my album reviews. I just straight up tell you what I think of the albums after listening to them a couple of times, and there's just people out there, I guess, who are just, they get butthurt when you don't agree with them. So these are in no particular order, so let's just look at this first one. Post Malone, Beer Bongs and Bentleys, that came out in 2018. This isn't one of my worst ones when it comes to controversy. It's got 7 likes and 7 dislikes, so it's very 50-50 between the people who did watch. And I did kind of I was not a fan of this album at first, and I don't necessarily think I still am, but to me it's a lot more passable than it was. I had not really known much about Post Malone until that point, and I just kind of went into this album with a blind eye, and I think I needed to do more research and look up more things about some other songs. It was just something that I didn't do, and I do kind of regret that review, but again, I keep them up because I want you guys to see the change in my, review process over the years. So this one, not one of my bigger controversial ones, but I look back at it and go, yeah, I see why people would hate it. Next is one that I actually gave a positive grade to, that being Mike Shinoda's Post Dramatic, his debut solo album. Just a year after Chester Bennington had passed away, he released this rap album, and for some reason an album I gave a 7 has 3 likes and 6 dislikes. It may not seem super bad, but I don't know, maybe it was because people expected me to rate it higher because it's a personal album of a deceased friend. I really don't know why, again, it's so controversial in this case. It's I liked the album. What more do you want from me? It's people think that 7 out of 10 is a bad grade when it's not. Anything below a 5 is technically a bad grade, because 5 means I was very 50-50, 6 and higher means I enjoyed, and anything below that was bad. So I don't see why giving it a 7 out of 10 people were like, oh, I gotta dislike and I gotta comment this and that, because it's definitely just I was underwhelmed with some of it, but it's still a good album nonetheless. Next is probably one of my more infamous ones, Greta Van Fleet's Anthem of the Peaceful Army album review. I am looking forward and not looking forward to reviewing their new album coming out on April 16th, because, depending on what I review or rate the album as, I just know there's no winning for me in that situation. But yeah, it has 4 likes to 8 dislikes. Again, not horrible, but this is where people kind of looked at me and went, are you crazy? Greta Van Fleet's the next best rock band. And I'm just kind of look, they're copying Led Zeppelin. It's okay to have the inspiration, but yeah, it's just a Led Zeppelin copy. That's all it was to me. They didn't really reinvent the wheel. It was something we've heard before. It was just plain boring, and they still are to me now. So part of me is going into this next record did they really change that much, or are they just saying that to steer clear of the Led Zeppelin comparisons? I don't know, but again, I still stand by what I said when reviewing this record. Papa Roach, Who Do You Trust? This was one of the few that I got an early listen on. They actually sent me a code to have a free digital download early, and I accepted it, even though I kind of knew over the years Papa Roach was declining, at least to me. But again, I was they were kind enough to do that. I'll give it a listen. And people thought because I got an early listen of it that it would up my rating a little bit, which look, I don't kiss up to anybody. If someone sends me some shit and is like, here, listen to this and tell me what you think, they have to deal with the fact that I'm going to be honest with them. I'm not just going to say it's good because you gave it to me. If I truly hate the record, then I'm going to say that I hated the record. You got to be ready to take criticism. Now, Papa Roach didn't do what the Imagine Dragons guy did and just block me for having my opinion on the album. As a matter of fact, they really said nothing, which I'd rather that happen than you block me over having my opinion. But I feel like it was the fans that came after me because they're like, how could you? They did this nice deed for you. It's like, yeah, they did a nice deed. I'm appreciative of it, but that doesn't mean I automatically have to like the album. So, yeah, I think that was just the main concern with it in general. Next we have, Avril Lavigne, Head Above Water. 4 likes, 5 dislikes. Again, it's not horrible, but I remember a lot of, like, big Avril Lavigne stans. Not fans, stans coming after me, being like, what are you talking about? You know, this is personal. She went through Lyme's disease. She almost died. And I said, yeah, I get it, but that doesn't make the album automatically good. Like, there was some stuff I was happy with, but Pop Avril, not for me. That's why I'm kind of glad she's returning to pop punk with this upcoming album, because that's where she shines best, I believe. When she's trying to make these pop hits, they're just kind of, I don't know, bland and boring to me, and that's what most of that album was. I'm sorry to say, but that's just where I stand with it, and I still stand by it. Tyler, the Creator's Igor. Oh boy. Listen. I put this on my worst records of 2019 list. I do kind of regret that. But it is still, to me, the least interesting Tyler, the Creator album to date. Okay, yeah, a lot of his old stuff, and, you know, the fact that this was Flower Boy's follow-up was kind of disappointing to me. But when I listen to his other albums, I at least get entertained. With this album, it's like, I appreciate the experimentation, but this is boring. And again, I still stand by that. I will not change my opinion on that. Should this have made the worst list of the year? No, maybe not, but yeah, people got on me for this because they're like, it's his best album ever, and I'm just like, is it though? Is it? Next week. Oh, Chill's number 15 album review, or the mixtape. Fucking. Oh, to think I used to watch this guy's content and then I kind of stopped after the whole number 15 thing got, like, very overplayed and just overdone. You started to realize that, yeah, he knows he's just a meme now, and even though it's cool that he's embracing that, it's just going to be the same thing over and over. And then when he did the whole rap thing, it was like, okay, why? Again, he can do whatever the hell he wants to do, but when it's not good, it's not good. A lot of YouTubers just need to not. They know it'll just give them revenue. That's the only reason they're doing it. They don't care about how good it sounds or who likes it other than themselves. As long as it reels in the cash, they're going to do it. And that's all this was. It was a cash grab by a massive horror YouTuber that he knew what he was doing, embracing the meme and just playing off of it. Okay, now we're starting to get into, like, where the likes and dislikes really outweigh each other. The Strokes, the New Abnormal album review, the Grammy Award-winning album. It won Best Rock Album at this past year's Grammys. I will kindly disagree. 8 likes to 63 dislikes would say otherwise, that the Grammys was right. But to me, I was like, after waiting that long, I felt nothing. It was like I expected more, didn't get it, and probably got less than expected from them. I don't know, I just wasn't as entertained as I thought I was going to be, and I think that's what really brought it down. Thank God it's not like a long, bloated album with like 14, 15 songs. It's only 9 songs long, but each song just kind of went in and did its own thing and had some more high-intensity moments, but for the most part, there wasn't a whole lot to really be like, I'm intrigued. Machine Gun Kelly's Tickets to My Downfall. This is still not a good album. There's a reason it was runner-up for the worst album, in my opinion, from last year. He's just taking all of the Blink-182 cliches that we see from them now, just copy and pasted them because he got Travis Barker to play drums. He's not reinventing the wheel. He's being boring and just blatantly copy and pasting, and that's what he's doing wrong. He's not putting his own twist on things. I mean, he's mixing the rap with the pop punk. Yeah, he's not the only person that has been doing that. He's just taking everything and just being like, okay, everything that's been done now, this is what we're gonna do. Screw putting my own little vibe on it like Trippie Redd does or like Mod Sun did. This is what I need to do. And it's just like, really, bro? Like, you're not really even trying. It's just getting annoying. And now the fact that he makes himself as some like rock star wannabe, it's just like, dude, don't kid yourself. You are far from a rock star. You're only doing this because you lost a rap battle with Eminem. The rap genre kicked you out. So now you're doing this. And frankly, the rock and pop punk community don't want you either. And the last one we're going to talk about is Gorillaz Song Machine Season 1. 9 likes to 50 dislikes later. And yeah, I don't really remember giving this album a really, really bad grade. I believe I gave it a 5. It was 50-50. It just... the album was bloated. I mean, I get the whole feature thing, it's part of the project, but again, when you have that many features, you're kind of taking more away from the talent of the band. In this case, that's why I kind of like the Now Now. It was short, sweet, and to the point, and a lot of their older albums were that way too, but when you get an album like, what was it called, Humans, their big comeback album, and then this, it's just like... Why? Why do you need all that much on a project? Like, nobody's asking for that much. And that's why they're always hit or miss to me, because they just have so much out on these albums that, you know, the worst outweigh the best, but they have so much potential to do the best more often, but they choose to just kind of be like, how many songs can we make with how many people, and just toss that onto an album? And it just, still to this day, it's like, you're doing a little too much. So yeah, that was just, I guess, a quick kind of reaction to 10 of my most controversial album reviews. I mean, if you remember one of my album reviews where you were just like, wow, I can't believe he gave that album a rating like that, let me know in the comments below, because there's probably more albums I could have talked about, but in the end, these were just ones I was kind of like, yeah, you know, I felt like I was in the minority in, and got a lot of hate for, because it was like, I guess they're the super fans of these bands and artists saw this, not just like a mixture of people, and they were like, no, this is good. Shut your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about because you like metal. Apparently, my favorite, like absolute favorite genre is metal, which I've never said that before. But, you know, whatever. People just assume because they're mad, and that's just what we have now, apparently. But yeah, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay safe out there. Wear your mask. And until then, I will catch you all in the next one.